So I sent an envelope to everybody on this call, apart from Gregor, who did get an envelope but didn't get an envelope delivered. In this envelope are some questions that we hear a lot as people with PCD and that we thought we might talk about today to tell you a little bit more about us.
Hello, my name's Greg. I'm 23 years old and I'm an actor and I'm from Milton Keynes.
My name is Euan. I am from Milton Keynes as well. And I am 25 and I am an accountant.
Hi, my name's Lucy. I'm 28 and I'm the chair of PCD Support UK and I am from Wales.
My name's Katie. I'm 29 and I live in Leicester.
Hi, I'm Abdullah. I'm 21 years old. I'm a data analyst and I live in Maidenhead.
So hi, I'm Poonam. I'm 26 and I'm from London and I work as a data analyst.
If you could go back to your child self, what would you tell them? You have PCD. That'd be really helpful to know as a child, because I didn't know until I was 18. So that's a really useful one for me.
I would say that, yeah, there are times where it's going to be really boring and you're going to absolutely hate it. But you'll meet fun people on the way, and when you grow up, you'll be like, I'm glad I did it and glad I went through it. You'll definitely learn a lot. I've definitely learned a lot about myself. And I just think it is awful sometimes, but also it's just the best thing in the world. And it's definitely made me the person I am today. And it's given me a lot of resilience. And I just sort of feel like it teaches you to sort of just enjoy life. So I think it's the best gift it gives, really.
Oh, that was pretty nice. I was going to be like, do your physio. Don't dodge your physio. What about you, Poonam?
I think it's going to suck, and it's going to suck even more because you're like part of the wonderful South Asian community. But I'd probably say, forget about that auntie. She has no clue what she's on about. Go and eat that box of mithai that she brought around when she's gone.
What about you, Abdullah?
Yeah. Don't listen to Dr. Google. Read up more about your condition before telling people. That's my idea. And maybe join the PCD support group a little bit earlier, as I only learned about it last year.
I would say it's not going to affect your life as much as you think it is, because everyone has problems and they just try and hide it.
How old were you when you were diagnosed? Show on your fingers.
What's that, Katie?
I don't have enough fingers, basically.
What do you do about PCD and going away with friends? Oh, I find it bad. So I do my physio before. If it's like just one night, I'll do my physio before and then like do it earlier in the day and then maybe kind of not do it late at night in the evening. If it's going away for like a week, like a holiday, you just have to do it, don't you? It's quite nice though, because I find it would be quite nice downtime. Like if I go away with a big group of friends for a holiday, sometimes you just want to get away a bit. So I use it as my quiet time, perhaps. Eventually, I think you just have to, people are really understanding, but eventually I think you just have to get on with it, because if you miss it for long, you're going to regret it, aren't you?
What I do is I'll just do all my physio in the shower. So I'll just stand there for 10 minutes, do coughing, blow my nose while I'm lying in the shower, and then I'm ready to go after that. It's sort of like a skiing session. So,
do you use like an a cappella at all?
No.
I
used to, no, not anymore. Yeah, you can't really use that in the shower.
My contractions, I've got like a pet mask and breathing that in the shower, I think I might drown.
Yeah.
I live with all my mates, so I don't really go away with them.
I think that's a good point there in uni as well. Like when you move in with a bunch of new people, I never really knew anything about it because I didn't get diagnosed until I hit uni anyway. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is weird. Why do I need to do all these things? I never had to do them. But now I find it's a good talking point if someone can, with some friends and things, when you've got like your nebulizer on and there's just steam following you everywhere. They're like, what are you doing? What is going on here? And it's quite a nice opener to have the conversation about what's wrong. So
yeah.
And you blow smoke rings with your nebulizer?
No.
I want to be like Gandalf on Lord of the Rings, and like a ship.
What was it like starting uni? For me, I was sort of, obviously, I went to uni when I was 17 or 18 or whatever. So I was sort of more settled with it. And then obviously it is definitely a sort of awkward thing when people hear you sort of like coughing and that. But I think I'll just sort of just be open with my mates and be like, yeah, this is it. This is what I do. You're going to hear me making some rank noises in the morning at night. Get used to it. And yeah, they'll just sort of take the piss, and it's funny. Do you know what I mean? So I think I've got good mates around me, so no one's ever like taking the piss like horribly. I don't think even they would. Like, I don't think that's anything to worry about. Like, maybe as a kid, I'd worry that people would be like, oh, maybe I'd be horrible about it, but no one's ever done that in my life. Even when people have been horrible to me, they've never been horrible about that. So I think, so I don't think it's something to worry about. Yeah, I just find that.
Looking at your brother there.
Yes. Well, he can't really talk about it.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, I personally don't think it's anything to worry about, and just explain what the condition is, and people normally just like, oh, okay, whatever, and get over it.
What about you, Poonam?
So I wasn't as like forthcoming as Gregor was. I'd actually blast this one song by the Vaccines on every night while I do my physio, so no one could hear. So if you wanna.
Yeah,
if you crank that out really high, no one could hear you. So for a good year, I was known as this girl who was just obsessed with the vaccines. I was okay with that. So.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah, I think so. For me, I found that when I went to uni, so I didn't have specialist care when I lived in Wales. And then when I went to uni in England, I got put under a specialist centre. When I got there, they were like, oh, you are riddled with all these chest infections. And so I ended up having like 8 weeks of hospital a year. And I remember this one time I was having IVs I was doing home IVs, but in my student like flat, and there was a fire alarm. And I used to have to put this drip on a hanger and hang it in the wardrobe, because you don't get a drip stand. Like, they won't give you that, but they will give you drips to do. So I used to put it on a hanger and put it in the wardrobe, and I'd have to get up at like 6 a.m. to do it to be able to get to lectures on time. And I'd fallen asleep at the bottom of the wardrobe with my arm bent. And I had a PICC line in, like the drip didn't go through, and this fire alarm went off. And I remember having to like bundle my drip into like my dressing gown and like walking out into the like fire where they register for people at a fire alarm, and just everyone like looking at this kind of drip and this line kind of coming out of me, and people being like, oh my God, are you okay? And I thought, oh, well, I'm busted now, aren't I? But yeah, I think I think if anything, people are really kind, and they kind of like say respect you more, but definitely people are like, oh, that's got to be like hard to balance. And I think on the flip side, it makes us quite good at balancing our work around our health stuff. I think it's maybe our secret superpower.
Mine was actually fine because I had a disabled room, which was quite entertaining. So they were like, why are you in a disabled room? So that was quite an easy way to tell people, and it just meant I got a bigger room, nice wet room, shower, which set the alarm off. The fire alarm off every single day. But yeah, no, I quite enjoyed that, to be fair, having a nice big room, nice sit down shower.
I definitely think if it's relevant and you're able to apply for it and it's applicable to your health needs, I had a disabled room as well, and it meant that I had my own bathroom, which, I'm not being funny, who wants to share a bathroom with someone who's squirting saline up their nose and having snot coming out of it every day? No one. No. So yeah, like, you got a better room upgrade, makes PCD a little bit better. Yeah,
definitely.
Well,
even if they are a bit rank.
It also sort of became the party flat, because my party room, just I'd have everyone in my room because it's so big.
I missed a trick there. I didn't. Yeah, okay, cool. We had to share a bathroom with a bunch of people that were slobs. There's hair in the drain every day and everything. It was horrible.
Yeah, definitely needed the room upgrade.
Who's winning cytosine versus or normal? Thumbs up for cytosine versus and down for normal.
Okay. Oh wait.
Oh, that's unfair.
Wait, hang on. Who's? I didn't. So just me and Abdullah.
Yeah.
No, we're not the 50% then, are we?
Wow. Only 6 of us, Lucy, come on.
My fine example. Ooh.
What's your most funny / embarrassing PCD related moment? I don't really have any embarrassing because I don't think I get that embarrassed. I don't think ish. But when we were swimming, we had a swimming lesson when I was in probably like year 10 or year 11, because we were still doing like, I think it was PE or something. And this teacher thought I was like chewing gum while I was in the pool, and he was like, "What are you chewing? Chewing gum while you're swimming? You're gonna die!" And I was like, "It's not actually chewing gum." And like, and then it was just a massive sort of sputum thing which was not nice. But that's what happens when you go swimming and you can barely breathe and swim. But yeah, so that's probably my last one. I don't think it's that bad, but it's just quite funny because
I think that's quite common. Mine definitely, it happens all the time. I'll be blowing my nose and like with one tiny little tissue that you hope's going to last you all day, and it's like, oh, got more in the locker, and then you've got that little horrible. And I've said this to someone before about like, magicians, and they've got the hankies that they can pull out of their arms like that. I feel like I need that. That's my one. It's the nose blowing in public. I need a private place and a mirror.
Why do you need a mirror?
To check after.
Okay. I thought you just watching yourself blow your nose.
Yeah, when you've got a beard, definitely.
You've got a beard as well.
yeah.
You need to make sure you've got snot in your beard.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. No, that's not a winning.
I remember, even though I wasn't diagnosed until like 17, 18 or whatever it was, I did have a lot of ear infections, and I ended up having grommets, which is not really advisable for us, but I did as a kid because we didn't know any better. And I remember having like, they were like, oh, you need to clean the ears out of it because there's gunk coming out of it all the time, and quite a lot like dried on and crispy. And it's like when you peel glue off your hands as a kid and stuff, it's like super satisfying. Like my mum would go in with an earbud and just be like, and you're like, oh, that hurts, but it's so good. And you just got these massive chunks of disgustingness coming out. Yeah. So that's my most disgusting thing that I remember. But
I've got one. What's it called? I went on a surfing trip to Morocco a couple of years ago, and we'd be going out and surfing for like about 4 or 5 hours. But I forgot I stuffed like a load of tissues into my wetsuit sleeve, and then when I had to hand it back to the guy that I rented it from, it was like crumpled pieces of tissues. It was disgusting. I didn't know what to say, so I kind of just walked away.
See ya. I love it. Gregor, did you have one?
I don't have one that's particularly embarrassing. Well, maybe it is, but no, it was we're supposed to be playing rugby at school once, and the pitches had frozen over, so we couldn't play rugby. So the coach was like, right, you've got to go running for 2 hours. I was like, I was quite a fat kid, so I was like, I ain't running for 2 hours. And normally I would never let PC like get in the way of anything. So like I do it, do you know what I mean? But the teacher was like, "Oi, Copeland, come here." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, what did he say? He was like, does the cold air affect your lungs? And I was like, no. That's what I was thinking in my head. But I went, oh, actually, yeah, it's feeling a bit tight. You can go inside then.
Okay, confession time. Who here ever used PCD to get out of PE?
That was the only time I did it. I did it once.
All the time.
I totally would have.
I had a letter that I never got dated, but it was just signed by my mum. I just give that in every week. The teacher would go back to me every week. That's what it was. Especially in the winter, cross country. It was killer.
Also, if anyone is watching this that is at school and has PE on their timetable, go to it because the exercise will do you good, and do not use us as examples. That is not how you do it. You should go and do your sport.
I did every PE lesson, just saying.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
What are the positives you find in having PCD?
I do think that having PCD has a huge treatment burden, and it's easy enough for people that are in a really good routine to say, oh, it's just part of my lifestyle. But I think if you compare it to someone who doesn't have PCD and who doesn't have to do treatments for any kind of medical condition, it is a lot to do. Like if you're going to be doing nebulizers, and I know not everyone does the same thing, but if you're going to be doing nebulizers and you're going to take medication and you're going to be having to do physio at least twice a day, that adds up. And I think that having that kind of time management as someone with PCD allows you to be like a really organized person and pushes you to be probably a bit more mature than you would be if you didn't have PCD. And that has like a benefit on how you manage your schoolwork, how you manage your jobs, or at least I think that's how I felt about it. That's the positive I'd take for all the infections and other stuff.
So I think for me, it's like the curiosity of biology and medicine. So like, my job now is in research in cancer research at Bart's Cancer. And I don't think I would do what I do if I hadn't had all of that in and out of hospital and all of those conversations with doctors and clinicians, and the research is really interesting. So I think that's one positive I can definitely say, is that I don't think I'd do what I do if I didn't have PCD.
My positive isn't as serious. When you end up in hospital, especially when I was younger, the gifts and the chocolates that you got, I mean, they're quite positives. The money that you got out of it, I mean, that was a positive, especially when you're young. But yeah, other than that, I don't have any positives.
I think that's a pretty big positive.
That's a good positive, yeah.
So I can't top that one, but I was going to say, I find like the benefits of exercising, like the fact that you'll see the benefits like almost immediately. So I know for like a lot of people, they have different reasons to like want to exercise, where it's like getting those abs or, you know, just for mental health. But like I know that if I go for like a short run or just like a really quick walk, if I do my physio later, I'll see the benefits. That's definitely one of the positives.
It's also that motivation. You never have no motivation. Well, you do, let's be honest, but you still have a hard drive to like do some exercise. It's like, well, if I don't, I'm gonna have a bad day tomorrow. So pushes you to get out there and do something.
Yeah, I think it's definitely changed my attitude to exercise from when I was younger to how I am now. And you do realize it's like, you know, I hate when people say having PCD, doing your physio is just like brushing your teeth. It's not like brushing your teeth. I do not agree with that. But like brushing your teeth, I do find that like when you do your physio exercise and then your physio, it feels so clean. Like, everything feels so fresh.
Yeah, it's like when you wash your sheets and you've like gotten in. Like, yeah, it feels great.
That new feeling.
I think it's the opposite, because it all tastes awful and it's grim and it's just snot and things everywhere. Like,
yeah, after, yeah, like a spa. I saw someone actually. I was watching that radio thing where it's like Radio 1 thing where it's like unpopular opinions, and they said that they don't like fresh sheets, which is very strange. That just reminded me.
It's changing my sheets. That's the problem, isn't it? That's the long bit.
You're changing them.
Yeah, boring. That's the one thing I want. I just hate changing bed sheets.
Yeah, Joe, I don't like that either.
Ladies and gentlemen, the eligible bachelor, Gregor Copeland.
Oh God, I'm painting myself a picture. Yeah, I did maybe laugh when you were saying, Lucy, about time management. That's made yours better. When does that come?
Yeah.
24 and a half.
Okay, I got a few more years. Let's do this in a few more years then. One positive for me, I think, it's something I mentioned earlier, but I think it's just that resilience in terms of like, I always think if I've had a bad day or like something's annoying me, I'm like, actually, you know what? I spent 3 weeks in hospital as a kid, having operations, blah, 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 did all this stuff. I spent, 3 months in isolation living with my parents. So I can deal with this problem here. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's something for me. I'm like, oh, this is not a problem right now. From the stuff that I've done, do you know what I mean? The stuff that my family's been through, it's like, oh, this is actually quite simple.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's what as I was thinking, I think our problems seem a bit insurmountable for some other people, if that's the right word. I don't know, I think our family, Gregor, is a bit different because we've had loads of other stuff, not just this. But I still think that it gives you a new perspective on the world. Like you can pretty much do what you want. You can climb Mount Everest. You can, if you just put your mind to it, and nothing really holds you back.
question for the brothers on here. How are you guys? Because I don't have a sibling. I have a sibling, but she doesn't have PCD. How is it having a sibling with PCD?
It's funny, like, it's weird because I feel like we never actually spoke about it until I was about 17, and you were like, I was only 19. I just don't think we ever spoke about it, but it definitely made it easier just because you've got someone who's just doing the exact same thing, and you've got someone who can really empathise with you, because your mates and stuff, they don't really know, they're not there every day, they don't live there every day. And
did your routines differ much?
So we had like a bit different because obviously 2 years apart, so when we went to different schools, it sort of was a bit different, but we went to the same school, the primary school and the same secondary school, so it didn't really differ that much.
Physio,
most of it.
Just do it at the same time and do the same.
Yeah, well, because mum, like as we were younger, mum and dad they'd just take one of us each and just do like percussion on us, which with dad's rings, Jesus, not fun. But yeah, so I don't think it changed. I think it was good because it was just fairly normal for us. And in hospital, I actually quite enjoyed when Gregor was there because it was a lot more fun. We were just pissing around, and we were like the least sick kids there. Also, everyone else is it's just a bit awkward, but I think that is definitely a good thing.
Do you on hospital when you were in hospital? Would you get the same room together?
Not always. So we'd usually be on the same like part of the ward if we were on the ward. Because I don't think they don't really have double rooms, do they, in hospitals? So they would just start like if they could be next to each other or close. So
would you go and see each other?
Yeah.
Oh,
there was one time where we couldn't though, wasn't there? Because you had some dodgy something. Do you remember that in the Brompton? You had a separate room one time. Gregor doesn't remember anything. He's like,
you have Pseudomonas.
I think you do.
They love keeping Pseudomonas. You have to keep Pseudomonas away from all other people that don't have Pseudomonas.
Yeah.
He's got no idea, by the way. No idea.
Yeah, he's no idea. Yeah.
He'd actually just ask for some quiet time.
Like, you just get my brother away from me.
Yeah.
Again, thumbs up, thumbs down. Anyone enjoy shielding? And I mean, I think it's going to be this all around, but
Gregor.
It had a good part, so you just stay in bed. There was nothing else to do, was there?
Really enjoyed not commuting, so that's a big thumbs up.
No, I found it fine. I don't want to go into work, so I'm quite happy that I'm staying at home. I've had so much more time for activities, as I say. No one got that joke because no one's seen that film.
So much more activities. Right, if you're going to quote.
Wait, so you guys are saying that you enjoyed shielding, or that? Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, please.
I think it's different because you were pretty much on your own, though.
Yes, thank you, Euan. I was very much on my own. Thank you for reminding me. No, it was. Yeah, I found it a little bit isolating, to be honest. Like. Because I have a big network of friends and I couldn't see any of them, and I don't live with them. I think it's different maybe if you've got like housemates, and I'm not even living with my boyfriend at the moment because he's in America and they won't let me in. So it was a little bit of a lonely time, but actually I think this time it doesn't feel quite as bad. So now that cases are going up again, I've decided to shield more, and I feel more resilient about it this time because like you're right, you've got more time for exercise. And I made like 50 pom-poms in the first set of shielding. I don't know if you can see that fireplace. I'm not proud of it, so I got through dramatic.
You wouldn't have shown us if you weren't proud of it.
It's not that. I just want to show you how bad it got, and that now I actually do productive things. It's like I've come a long way. It's the journey. What about you, Poonam?
You know, I actually didn't mind it at the beginning because I'm a bit of an introvert anyway. So I kind of like sort of having a little me time, but there's only so much me time you need. So I think with this whole tier 2 thing and the fact that like in London it's well everywhere it's a little unclear. And I have friends who are like taking it really lax. I'm getting I think I was complaining about it before, that I'm finding it a little frustrating in terms of when do I sort of say something when I don't. So like knowing when to bite your tongue, that's been a bit difficult for me. I scared off one friend. I haven't heard from him in 2 months because I had to go at him. So we'll see. We'll see if I have any friends left over by the end of this.
You've got us. It's fine.
That's true.
It's hard, isn't it? Because I think also as young people, a lot of young people don't feel the immediate risk of COVID, whereas it's quite unusual, I think, to have such young people in the shielding category, although there are lots of people in that category. So yeah, it's kind of weird, and I think it's hard to get people to understand like quite how serious you're taking it. Mm-hmm. If you look healthy as well.
Well, shielding was pretty terrible for me because Leicester. Leicester's not been a great place. So, and like Lucy, I have a massive pool of friends, and I work in London and commute from Leicester. So like, I have a massive pool of friends in London that I can't go and see or spend any time with. And then I live with my boyfriend in a little flat in the city centre without a garden, and it was really sunny and lovely, and I wasn't allowed to go sit in the sun. It was pretty terrible. So we made the decision to move in with his parents in Hampshire, so we're still there for now. It's been like 6 months, and we've not killed them and they've not killed us, so positive, going well. I don't know how long we're going to be here though, so that's the question, isn't it? But it's actually been okay because I've quite enjoyed having an extra 3 hours a day not being on a train, because I can go for a run and I can do anything I want, and I finish work at 4:30 and I actually finish work at 4:30. I can go do something at 4:30 rather than wait until it's 6 o'clock and then do something. So it's nice to have the time, isn't it?
I think it's made me sort of think about how I want my life to be more. Yeah. So instead of having like going to work and just sitting in an office, I'd rather just be able to do what I want, be able to go for a walk whatever time I want, get my steps in, go do some exercise, go travel, go to different places, and rather than just sit in the same place doing that. So I think that's one of the positives for me, especially, and it's allowed me to start my business, which I would never probably have properly got into, or it might not have kicked off as much if it hadn't happened. So that's like one of my positives.
I liked it for about a week. Then after that I hated it, but it's only because I started a new role as soon as we went to lockdown. So I finished my apprenticeship and then went into the full-time role. For me, office-wise, it was all right because I'm only a 10-minute walk from my office, so I still had the time after work and before work, whatever I need to do. But working from home, I said to my manager, I'm never working from home in my life again. I said, that's it, I'm done with work from home. And then secondly, for the first about 3-4 months, like I live in a predominantly Asian area where they have no care for, there's Corona. And apparently the conspiracy, still 5G, don't forget 5G. But yeah, so that's why a lot of my mates, they're still going out, everything under the sun. So they don't really care. But that's why I've only seen my friends, I think, twice in lockdown properly. Actually gone out to a restaurant. But yeah, other than that, that's been quite crappy at the moment, yeah. And my room is 2 meters by 2 meters. So no one can fit in my, 2 people can't fit in my room 2 meters distancing.
Your parents did that on purpose, 100%. Yeah, no, that is tough. I think everyone's had like a real roller coaster of experiences. It's interesting as well that Abdullah, you were like, I am not working from home. I definitely felt the opposite. I was like, oh great, this is in the future. I definitely will only want jobs that can be flexible enough, and I think that will have a benefit actually on people with PCD, because I think more employers now are thinking, hang on, we can trust our staff to like work from home, and before. It was quite hard, I think, to find jobs that were like fully flexible. So hopefully a small silver lining maybe to this pandemic is that people will be able to choose how they work and where they work. Okay.
I just feel like my productivity was really crap at home. That's why I went to the office, because like I'd put on my laptop and just, chuck on Netflix or something. But and because I didn't have any work at the beginning, and then I just like, mind you, I'm going back to the office. I'm not sitting at home. So I started going back to the office about a month ago. But yeah, it was work from home is just difficult for me. 6 months straight, I can do it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think when you're in one place the whole time, it has a huge impact on like your mental health. And especially if because in the original days, we got those government texts. Do you remember? That was like, you can crack a window, but don't go out of your house. Don't you dare go out of your house.
It's so funny. I remember you texting me. You were like, "Have you seen this text?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I got it like yesterday." We can open windows. Yes.
I was like, I can't wait to open my window. But also, I was so offended because I was like, I live in rural West Wales, where like if I see one person in a day, it's kind of good and bad. Like it's a really rural community, but if I see one person in a day, it's like, oh, busy on the roads today, guys. So, everyone's out on the town. So I was kind of offended by the government telling me not to leave, but then also terrified of catching it. So
what do you do when doing physio? So this is going to sound really random. I actually do my physio in the middle of our living room in front of the TV. I still live at home with my parents, so my dad hates this. But my reaction to this was always like, you gave me the genes, this is what you get. Yeah.
I love it. It's so good on you. So, and what kind of what like techniques do you do for your physio?
Is it AD?
Yeah, autogenic drainage. Like,
yeah.
You lie on your side, or
yeah.
I get so confused with all the names, by the way.
Yeah.
I could be like, is it the one where you're like, or the one where you're like?
In the before times, I had a portable nebulizer with a battery, and I commuted into work on the train, and so I made it a thing when I first started my job there, that I would do my nebulizer at my desk first thing every morning, while I did my emails, and it was perfect because everybody would just leave me alone. And so every time I was like, go away, I don't want to talk to you. Oh, I'm feeling a bit rough today, I'm going to do some physio. And I would just strap on, put my headphones in, and do something else and ignore the world. So generally now I do anything else because I'm so bored. I hate doing it. I would watch a film, I will talk about anything else to distract me while I do my physio.
I usually do it in the shower, so because that's just the easiest thing to do.
But can you like do it I just wonder, can you do it properly, do you think? Like
to a degree, yeah. But I try and do a lot of sport anyway, so like I haven't been so good at the moment in doing stuff, but usually I'll do something once a day that probably will make me cough, like go for a run or play rugby or do a workout or something. So I'm still fit enough to do rugby. That's how I sort of measure it. If I can't play rugby, then I'm struggling.
Yeah, so I did the shower as well, and then also like I just find that every time I go to the toilet or whatever, I go to the bathroom, I'll just like hoik it all up. So and then if I'm just home all day, I'll just have a cup with me and just like hoiking it up all day and just.
I've heard about your spittoon. like a Western cowboy.
It's exactly that.
So I think I'm a bit more like old school, which is probably why I hate it so much. I've tried to so I have an a cappella, but then they were telling me that it was making me too wheezy. So I have a PEP valve or a PEP mask now. And I try to, like, I get really addicted to box sets, Gilmore Girls being one of them. And so I try to like only treat myself to like Netflix, an episode of something if I'm doing my physio as like the reward. But I'll sit there very like old school and do my kind of like 12 breaths and then some like long halves and then cough, cough, cough. Or sometimes at Christmas, I got some Christmas money and bought myself an exercise bike, which I think was like a crystal ball vision into the future of being quarantined for 6 months. Because during lockdown, I would do like half an hour on my bike. Watching Selling Sunset on Netflix. So good and so bad. So I'd be like doing my exercise bike and then do physio after that. But in I feel scared to deviate from the norm. So when they're like, do 12 breaths, I'm counting out the breaths. Yeah. Abdullah, what about you?
It depends on what technique I'm using. So like, I try to use a different technique at different times of the day. So like during the day I do AD, and at night I'd use a aerobica, I don't know if you guys use the Arabica with the saline solution. So I do that. But when I'm doing that, I'm watching Netflix. If I'm doing AD, I'm not doing anything. I'm just doing AD and that's it.
Maybe we could get a discount for ask Netflix if they want to give us a PCD physio incentive discount.
Yeah, I don't pay. I don't use my own.
Yeah. You're one of those. You're the parasite.
I use it for this. It's easier. I do offer to pay half, but they don't take it. So
yeah. So guys, we really hope that you found some of our conversations today useful, or at least maybe entertaining, or a relief to know that there are others out there that feel a little bit like this and have the same kind of things to deal with. We are really grateful for you for watching, and please do check out our website and our social media and stay in touch. Thank you.
Bye! That was good, Katie.
That was good.
That was good on the fly. Well done.
Good.
So we need a coughing round.
Yeah. Go on. Let's just
Do your best cough.
Give your best cough.
So Katie, give me your best cough.
Oh, that was terrible. I need to work it up. Hang on. I did too much physio today. This is the problem. Someone else go first while I work.
Abdullah, give us your best cough.
That.
Oh God. It's good to know that we all sound like it. And we probably all should do our physio, and we probably shouldn't all sound quite as juicy as this, but it is, in our defence, it is about 6 p.m. So we've had this day.
Yeah.
Winding down. Give us a break.
Yeah.
Lovely to see you all.
Yeah, and you.